came up behind them. He must have been here earlier on to certify the death, but now he was getting rather bored waiting for the body to be transported to the mortuary, which might explain why he had gone off with the young policeman as if to search for clues, but actually to take a walk, though for mid-April it was still cold. Someone called from inside the Roshnovsky villa, so the maids banged the little window shut and ran to see to their duties. It was the Wednesday after Easter, the day for putting away the best dinner service in the cavernous sideboards, the celebration silver and the large platters on which the blessed sausage rings, garnished hams, mazurek tarts and bubkas made with 5 dozen eggs had lately been displayed. There was no time for gawking. Part 1. Chapter 1, in which the story starts like a Hitchcock film, although he wasn't born until 4 years later. Zofia runs into her cousin and is affronted, and Ignacy goes on an unexpected outing. It all began with the earthquake. On the evening of Easter Saturday, when the Turbotynskis came home from Resurrection Mass at the cathedral, Zofia was already, to put it mildly, in a less than ideal mood. They had set off on the return journey from Wawel Hill in the company of Professor Rostofinsky and his wife. He was a faculty secretary at the Academy of Learning, where Zofia wanted to obtain a post for Ignacy, while Mrs. Rostofinska was taking a rather active part in collecting money for the renovation of the cathedral, which lately had absorbed the attention of almost all the society ladies. Unfortunately, on All Saints' Square, they ran into Zofia's cousin, Józefa Dudkiewicz, and her children, who were also on their way home to Florianska Street. Despite her best intentions, Zofia had never been able to rid herself of the principle instilled by her mother that family, rest assured, are people too, despite being kin. So the encounter was not just limited to an exchange of bows, but led to both groups merging, and then heading at a brisk pace, the evening was cool, down Gruchka Street toward the market square. What had promised to be a pleasant family walk in the greenish light of the gas lamps ended in an unpleasant quarrel of a spiritual nature. Much comment was always passed on the Resurrection Mass in Cracow. The usual debate included the relevance of the sermon, the singing of the choir, the appearance of the celebrants, and other such things of a not necessarily theological nature. But ultimately, as the history of the Church tells us, these are not the sort of issues that lead to schisms or to people casting oaths at each other. But this time the quarrel was over a basic point, namely the superiority of the old bishop over the new one, as Mrs. Dudkiewicz insisted, or the new one over the old, as Mrs. Turbotynska would have it. To her cousin's cutting remark that the late-lamented Cardinal Dunajewski did not travel about in a carriage drawn by 4 horses, and had no need to stress his own undeniable eminence at every step of the way, Zofia replied with the short but emphatic statement, "Józefa, this is Cracow," as if that explained everything. Then, in case it didn't, and further elucidation was essential, she added, "The Emperor has made Cracow's bishops into princes, so following the sudden death of the Cardinal last year, it seemed perfectly fit and proper for a representative of the ancient princely house of Puzina to take his seat on the bishop's throne. In this city, the mitre is not to be placed on the head of the sons of railway workers, tradesmen, or I don't know what." She waved the tip of her umbrella disdainfully. "Junior officers." "Zofia," said Mrs. Dudkiewicz, "I think you are speaking with the voice of local patriotism." "No doubt," replied Zofia, and quoted a proverb as old as it was overused. "If it weren't for Cracow, Cracow would be Rome." "Without question. But I was thinking of Przemysl, my dear," said her cousin in a sugary tone, needling her reviled relative with a smile.